The world of Red Dead Redemption 2 is full of strange and bizarre characters, but one pair seem to stand out above the rest in terms of peculiar behaviour. Reports of travellers going missing in the area are told by the whispers of the locals, but no one seems to know the full truth. One thing that these rumours have in common is the location of a home in the southern area of the Heartlands, near the border of Lemoyne, a pig farm. Welcome to the video. You're listening to Phil of Philby Gaming, and today we're taking a look at a couple known as the Aberdeen family. We'll be investigating the pair and their home, the family's history, the secrets that they are hiding, and the real-life inspirations behind the characters. To tell this story, I want to start off with a gentleman I met out in the wilderness, who had a small tale of his brief encounter with the family. He had the following to say.
Like I was riding through the Heartlands the other day, and cut through someone's land. Looked like an old pig farm. When a couple called me over from the house. Very nice man and woman. Very friendly.
Oh yeah?
You would think this is fine, que no? And they keep saying that a traveler like me deserves some rest and refreshment, inviting me to stay for dinner. I was tired and I was hungry, but mi corazonada, the feeling in my gut said no. I don't know why, but I trusted it. Then the very next day, a man warns me to stay away from that place. So I live by my instincts. I'm also real fast with a gun, which helps me when the instincts fail me.
So the hunter explains to us that he was invited into the home by a couple, but his instincts convinced him against it. Then the following day, he was warned by an unknown man to stay away from the place. With this information, it was time for me to check out the pig farm, out of pure curiosity, so off I travelled south. Slightly north of Lonnie's shack, I discovered the property, and upon approaching, I noticed upon the porch a man was just sitting there. He quickly beckoned me over. For those who have already encountered this, you have the ability to use the chat to skip if you wish to move on to the next segment. The interaction went as follows.
Don't be shy, partner. No such thing as a stranger here.
Hello, mister.
Well, you look like you need to take a load off.
Well, ain't this a rare treat? Why didn't you tell me we had guests coming? I'd have fixed myself up nice.
Oh, now you know you look perfect, princess.
I ain't no guest, miss. I'm just passing through.
Oh, nonsense. Well, come on in. Rest a while. Now, we got food on the stove and a bottle of the good stuff we've been saving.
It's decided then. I'm gonna go freshen up.
I appreciate the offer, but I best be on my way.
Oh, come on now. How you gonna turn down a hot meal and good company? I'll go open that bottle.
The man and his wife seemed very friendly, so against my better judgment, I decided to take them up on their offer of a hot meal and good company.
Hey, there he is. Come on in. Come on. I hope she ain't primping for hours up there. We'll never eat. Go check on her, will you?
Me?
Well, sure. Hey, get to know the place. Make yourself at home. Well, just go hurry her up a little. She won't listen to me.
Look, I'm sure she'll be down in a minute.
Oh, you don't know her like I do. Married to that mirror, that one.
Well, look who it is. You are hungry, ain't you?
I didn't mean to intrude, miss.
It's all right. Looking ain't a crime. You go on and have a seat at the table. I'll be down in a minute.
She'll, be down in just a minute.
Woohoo! That is what I like to hear. Hey, now pull up a chair, partner.
She seems, real nice lady.
Oh, she's my everything, friend. From the womb to the tomb, I'm a lucky man. Hey, pull up a chair, partner. Oh, hey!
Hey!
Ain't this just about perfect? One of them moments you wish could last forever.
Well, like I said, I can't stay for long.
Now look at us, like a couple of old friends. Ah, it's a short life, but a merry one.
Here we are, all the fixins'. I hope you boys left some room in your trousers.
That smells delicious. The food don't smell too bad neither.
Oh, stop it, you! How do you like it?
It's good. Different. That meat is so tender. You know what? This place used to be a pig farm when we was kids. Before we lost our ma and pa. Horrible business.
Horrible.
But we still got each other, ain't that right, honey pie?
And we still know how to have the hog killing time.
Here, that's for you.
Yeah.
There.
Where are my manners? Drinks.
Yeah, I could definitely use a drink.
That stuff will put hair on your chest.
Oh, I doubt he needs that. Let's loosen you up some more. Come on, honey.
What the hell is that?
It's an old Aberdeen home recipe. That one right there is in 1894.
Feels like someone's stabbing me in the head.
Come on, I thought I had a man here, not a boy. One more, and you and I both will go upstairs and have a lie down.
What the hell?
Oh, about time. Now take whatever cash she has on her and put it behind Mama.
What the hell just happened? Those crazy sons of bitches got some explaining to do.
So there I awoke in a mass grave, all of my money stolen away from me. Of course, I wasn't going to leave it at that, so I headed back to the farmhouse. Finding Tammy in the kitchen, I quickly dealt with her. Her brother Bray soon came running down the stairs, and he was dealt with too. The man back at the camp was right. I should have stayed away from this place. With both occupants now dead, I decided not only to retrieve my money from the picture of the siblings' mother, but also take a look around the place. Upstairs, I discovered a child's bedroom, with only one single bed, which seemed very odd for two siblings to share. Hidden under the floorboards of the bedroom, in a red container box, were several blocks of some sort, reading the initials S and L, although I couldn't make the connection to their relevance. In the corner of the room was a portrait of mother and father. It was an old and worn picture, and what seemed to stand out was that the face of their father had been scratched away. Was this intentional, or was it just a coincidence that the age of the painting had gotten to his capture first? Right next to this stood the armoire, and upon opening, I made a foul discovery: the skeletal remains of an unknown person. Was this another victim of the brother-sister killers, and if so, why was it hidden away in their family home, and not disposed of, just like the others, in the mass grave not too far from the property. Below the armoire was a trail of blood, indicating that when the corpse was placed inside, it was still of flesh and bone and had decomposed as time passed. In the master bedroom, where we interrupted Tammy earlier on, I noticed on the bedside table a family portrait of the Aberdeens. In a posed photograph, we identify both Bray and Tammy as young children, alongside their parents. Disturbingly, the eyes of both the mother and father had been scratched away, almost as if the brother and sister didn't want them to be able to see them anymore. The picture was taken on Christmas of 1878, around 21 years previous. Also, in this room was a second portrait. Although it was almost completely destroyed, I could see that the picture was of a man, potentially the father of the family. It seemed that the brother-sister duo had despised their father, and his marriage to their mother, indicated by the destruction of the paintings. But downstairs, where we discovered our stolen money, was an intact portrait of mother, showing that they were much closer to her than they were their father. Was the incestuous relationship discovered by their parents? Was the mother more accepting of this than the father? I felt I needed more answers, so I decided to try things a little differently. Loading up a previous save, I re-encountered the Aberdeen family once more. This time, the starting scenario played out the same, and when Bray requested that we head upstairs to hurry Tammy along, I decided to investigate the skeletal remains in the armoire first. This prompted me the ability to question the siblings about this.
I found some bones in an armoire. What's that about?
Oh, you met Mama? She always did love visitors. We like to keep her here with us.
So, I opened the door up there and saw some bones. Human bones. Oh, that's my mama. Rest in peace. I just couldn't bring myself to bury her. This way is better.
Already knowing the result of what happens when Arthur would take the poison drink, this time I declined. With the passing of a few in-game days, I decided to return. The situation this time was a little different. Tammy was in the kitchen cooking away. She seemed somewhat startled at my presence, and if you watch closely, you will see that, upon noticing me, she immediately throws something suspicious into the pot, indicating that she was attempting to both poison and steal from me still. Out of curiosity, when prompted, I tasted the offered stew. Although the dialogue and scene was different from when I had the poison drink, the end result was still the same. There I awoke in the mass grave. Upon returning to the home, instead of dealing with the siblings as I had previously done, this time I wanted to exact a more sinister revenge. I hogtied the sister, which prompted her brother Bray to come running to her aid. After putting him down, feeling he would be too large a man to restrain, Tammy would immediately express her grief, stating that she loved him like a husband. Wanting to give the surviving killer what I believe she deserved, it was time to head to the mass grave that the siblings had created. As we reached the area, Tammy became terrified. She had the following to say.
Please, no, please, I'm sorry. Not here. Mama! I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry.
I now understood what the duo was all about. They would entice travellers from the roads with the aim of poisoning them, stealing from them, and then leaving them for dead. It seemed to be an open and closed case, but there was one piece of information that eluded me. The parents. We are aware of the remains of their mother and the fact that they loved her very much, plus they had a disdain for their father, who seemed abusive towards his children, maybe more so after discovering their relationship. But what actually happened to them? Did they die of natural causes? Something had crossed my mind earlier. Upon my second encounter at the home, where Tammy poisoned the stew, I didn't see Bray, so it was time to load up my save once again and explore a little more. Refusing the drink and then returning later, this time, instead of accepting the stew from Tammy, I headed to the next room where I would find Bray. He was writing a letter to his dead parents, reading aloud as he did so. This gave us answers as to what happened to the Aberdeen family.
Ma and Pa, you brought this on yourselves. It was the only way we'd all have peace. Oh, we kept telling you, leave us alone. Wish we could have given you a proper burial. But things ain't never perfect. But you loved them pigs. And that day, they ate well. Chore after chore. Interminable squealing. That look, Ma, judging us. Chop, chop, by tears of red, an act of love, together, always sweet, like roses, my angel.
The Aberdeen parents treated the pigs better than their own children. Both Tammy and Bray would kill their parents, then later chop their bodies apart and feed them to the pigs, stating that the animals ate well that day. They felt judged, which would explain why the eyes of the portraits in the family home were scratched out. It seemed that a mother's love would somewhat overcome their situation, as she would be more accepting of the two, but their father would not. All of this would eventually lead to their horrific demise. The siblings would remain at the family home and continue their reign of terror, enticing passers-by. What pleasure would they possibly get out of this? Maybe it was a simple case of survival. If you recall the first time we met the pair, Arthur would state that the food Tammy had prepared was different. It was now clear that he had eaten the remains of a poor soul who had previously fallen for the Aberdeen's welcoming gesture. It was time to put an end to the Aberdeen family once and for all.
What's going on?
The sick and twisted minds of the siblings was inspired by real-life events. In Lebec County, Kansas, USA, around the 1870s, lived a family known as the Benders. They consisted of 4 members: parents, John Bender Sr., his wife, Elvira, and their 2 children, John Jr. and Kate. The father, John Sr., would sometimes use a different alias, William. He was an elderly man at around 60 years of age. His wife, Elvira, was slightly younger, at around 55. Both were of German descent and spoke very little English. John Jr., at around this time, was 25 and was considered to be very handsome, with his auburn hair and a sporting moustache. He spoke English incredibly well, but with a strong German accent. Kate Bender, the youngest of the family, was around 23. She was cultivated, very attractive, and spoke English well, with just a hint of her ancestral accent. She would also claim to have some form of psychic powers, which prompted people from all around to visit her for readings. Together, the family would operate an establishment known to locals as Bender's Inn. The Bender's Inn was a bed and breakfast, with their targeted clientele being travellers. Around this time, several remains were discovered in the area surrounding the inn. Rumours began to circulate around the family, with many believing they were somehow involved. This was after travellers would report the peculiar activity of the family when they would visit the residence. One particular individual, named William Pickering, told how, upon entering the inn, he was ordered to take a seat at a specific table, but chose otherwise because the wagon cloth table covering was covered in strange stains. He would go on to say how the youngest, Kate, would immediately become aggressive towards him because of this, and even threatened him with a knife. Luckily, he managed to flee to safety. Another witness report came from a Catholic priest, who claimed to have noticed that one of the males of the Bender family, although it's unsure which one, was caught brandishing a large hammer. He too quickly left the inn. Two men who had travelled to the inn to experience Kate Bender's psychic powers stayed for dinner, but would refuse to be seated at the table next to the stained cloth, instead preferring to eat their meal at the main shop counter. Kate would then become abusive towards the two men, and shortly afterward, both the Bender males would emerge from behind the rear. At this point, the customers felt uneasy and decided to leave, a decision that most certainly saved their lives. Upon discovery, the authorities pieced together the tale of the family. The Bender family had a particular way of dealing with their victims. When they would invite travellers inside, Kate and John Jr. would quickly establish if the customers were of a wealthy stature, and if so, they would seat them at that specific table with the stained cloth. Underneath the chair was a trap door. When triggered, the victim would fall through the floor, most of the time to their death. Those who survived the fall were later killed, usually by a blow to the head from a hammer. They were then pickpocketed of their belongings, and their bodies were disposed of in different areas nearby. The stains on the cloth at the table were later revealed to be the blood of the Bender family victims. The brother-sister duo of Kate and John Jr. were originally believed to be husband and wife, similar to Tammy and Bray Aberdeen, as they would act in an overly loving manner towards one another. Before being captured, the Bender family realised that they had pushed things too far and were forced to flee to retain their freedom. In the years that followed, several reports would emerge. People would claim to have captured the murderers' family members and had executed them, although no one is certain of the truth. Thank you for watching. You've been listening to Phil of Philby Gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.